If you're in business, and if you weren't, you surely wouldn't be watching this episode of Straight Talk. You know how valuable it is to find ways to strategically promote your company. Have you considered leveraging trade promotion and community engagement through partnerships with educational institutions, hosting open houses, and sharing expertise to really strengthen your brand and drive business growth? And to do this, I'm pleased to welcome Chuck Violand to the program once again. Chuck, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jeff.
So, Chuck, we are going to get into the very last chapter of your book, Forging Dynasty Businesses. The last chapter.
Yeah.
Do you have your book in front of you?
You want me to get a copy of
No,
it,
no, no,
Jeff?
no, Chuck, no, Chuck. I was going to make a joke because if you don't have it, you don't know what to say, but I'm joking. You wrote the book. So I about lost Chuck right there. He's going to leave the room.
Seriously.
All right, so let's get started. Let's turn it over to you on this question. What type of trade promotion, thinking about this topic, do you recommend that our viewers consider?
There's a lot of different ways to go about it, Jeff. It all starts with being more visible within the communities that you serve, and that can provide both employment candidates and professional development opportunities for your existing staff. Just a couple ideas that I can throw out here for the group. Consider open houses. Maybe a starting point would be to have an open house for family and friends of current workers, and then maybe expand on that and do open houses for the community, for the communities that you serve at your facility. Look at guest speaker opportunities or instructor opportunities at trade schools, technical colleges, even in high schools. Talk about the trends or cutting edge technologies in the industry that you're engaged in. Also, go beyond just the technical issues, the technical aspects of the job. Consider talking about the business issues of running a company in the trades. Some people who are watching might decide to either drop the idea or delay a decision to start their own businesses. You can also provide scholarships for kids who are attending courses at these schools, or even donating materials or tools to the schools. So we can really run the gamut, Jeff, from something very involved to something really pretty simple.
So, Chuck, this sounds like this topic here can both get you new clients and top staff, top talent. Let's talk about that. Talk about how this concept you just mentioned helps with staff recruitment and finding top talent.
Absolutely. Uh, Look, Jeff, the public perception of companies engaged in the trades is not always a real flattering one. So if you can present a professional image through your people, the quality of your content that you're presenting or your facility, you're going to automatically be elevated above your peers. Now, I believe more and more that kids and adults are recognizing that careers in the trades can be both financially rewarding and emotionally satisfying. So presenting a professional image can only help that.
So, what does a successful open house or a community-facing event for a trades-based company look like? And how do you turn that visibility into long-term brand loyalty? It's got to be a challenge.
Open houses, and I'm using that term broadly here, are a great way to both introduce potential workers to your company, but also to build brand awareness and loyalty to your company. From a worker perspective, potential workers or family members of potential workers are able to see firsthand what the work is like, what the tools are that are used, and what the work environment is like. Now, ideally, the folks attending are able to talk with current employees who are actually doing the work. They can ask questions without feeling like they're being interviewed. But you just can't post a sign out front of your store announcing the event and expect people to show up. You obviously want to be very active on all the social media sites, promote it with all the networks, your customers, vendors, suppliers, and hourly employees. But you also want to get your current employees involved during the program. Let them be the experts who explain what the work is like, not just the tasks they perform, but also the customer service aspects, the people they work with, the company culture, and the opportunities for advancement. Oh, and one more thing, feed them. Always feed them. I believe it was Napoleon who once said that armies march on their stomachs. He was right, but so do employment and customer prospects. Feed them.
Chuck, I will come to your open house if there's good food, and I've been to your events, so I know there would be. What about beverages?
Always beverages. But
Okay.
I will tell you, we, as a company, we don't subscribe to necessarily having alcoholic beverages during the event.
What a terrible thing to have someone have a beer and drive home and get in the car wreck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liability is pretty high.
Yes. Good point. All right. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's get into it more. Talk about how a company can position its staff as experts in the eyes of potential and current clients.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is to get out of their way. Okay. If you have people who have been with you for any length of time in any position, doesn't have to just be a frontline worker, there's a very good chance that they're just as much or even more of an expert in some of the areas than you are. Let them shine. Have them put together a list of the things they believe were important to them when they started with you, and have them talk about those things.
Chuck, one of my favorite parts, as I mentioned many times, are the case studies in these chapters. There's one in this chapter. Talk about that and what happened.
Yeah, actually, Jeff, this one comes from somebody you know. It comes from VMA's new owner and our former general manager, Tim Hall, when he was with a large restoration company in Pittsburgh. The manager of that local branch contacted the administration of a local technical school to offer input and feedback on the curriculum and the skills the company was looking for, along with career opportunities in the restoration industry. Well, the school was all in, and they developed a really good cooperative relationship. So the bottom line on this story is that the branch manager had face-to-face interaction with the students and the school's administration. And the school now had a source of information for their students for job opportunities in another industry. The company also ended up hiring 4 or 5, I don't know the exact number, 4 or 5 people who came through that program.
So, Chuck, as I was looking at that case study, it said it was a VMA advisor. You didn't tell me it was now the owner, VMA.
A
Doesn't
little
say Tim Hull
surprise.
in the book.
Yep.
The book is pre Tim Hull owning VMA.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, in your experience, what's the secret to forming truly strategic partnerships with the opportunities available in most communities?
Yeah. Jeff, I'll tell you, there really is no secret. Okay. It just takes follow through and a long game mindset. Simply giving one talk to a group or giving one presentation and thinking that this is going to solve your employment problems isn't going to do anything. Well, not necessarily. It's probably going to breed cynicism on the other party's part, but not much else. Strategic partnerships have to be based on mutually beneficial benefits between the partners. Those benefits can be technical expertise, frontline experience, and employment opportunities from the contractor to the school. Well, in return, it could be a pool of candidates and employee development opportunities from the school to the contractor. Definitely a win-win.